The wolf in sheep's clothing. Once upon a time, a hungry wolf longed to dine on the rich flock of sheep that grazed in a well-guarded pen behind a tall fence. The sheep were watched over day and night by a fierce shepherd dog, and the wolf knew that if he tried to slip in openly, the watchdog would drive him away. One day, the wolf noticed a pile of sheepskins hanging nearby. He devised a cunning plan. He stole several sheepskins and wrapped them around himself so that he appeared just like one of the flock. Silently and smoothly, he padded along until he reached the pen, his disguise fooling the watchful dog into believing that he was just another lost sheep. Once inside, the wolf waited for the flock to gather closely. As soon as the sheep huddled together, he suddenly leaped forward, seizing a sheep by the neck and slaying it before it could bleat loudly. However, one sheep cried out in alarm, and the shepherd dog finally realized the deception. The dog charged into the pen, snarling at the intruder. The wolf, though wounded, managed to flee quickly, but not before he had killed 3 sheep. That afternoon, when the shepherd returned and saw torn sheepskins stained with blood lying just outside the pen, he realized that a wolf had tricked them by wearing a disguise. But by then the wolf had already escaped, vanishing into the forest with his prize. The goose that laid the golden eggs. Once upon a time, there was a farmer who owned a small farm. Among his animals was a marvelous goose that laid a single golden egg every morning. Each night, the farmer would collect the golden egg and sell it, and over time, he became wealthier than he had ever imagined. His prosperity grew daily, and he no longer worried about money. One day, the farmer became impatient. He thought it was a waste of time to wait for the goose to lay just one golden egg each day. He believed that there must be a great amount of gold hidden inside the goose's body. If he killed the goose and cut it open, he could obtain all the gold at once, instead of waiting for it to lay eggs incrementally. Driven by greed, the farmer killed the goose. But upon cutting it open, he discovered that there was nothing inside but ordinary flesh. The goose that had laid golden eggs was dead, and no gold remained. Panicked and regretful, the farmer realized that his greed had cost him the gift that was providing his wealth. From that day forward, the farmer had to work hard to earn his living once again, for he no longer had the golden eggs to sell. Moral: do not let greed cloud your judgment, for hasty actions may cause you to lose the good things you already possess. The milkmaid and her pail. Once upon a time, there was a milkmaid carrying a pail of fresh milk on her head as she walked to the market to sell her milk. She balanced the pail skillfully and walked with a spring in her step. As she walked, she began to think ahead to the money she would receive from selling her milk. "I will take this milk to market and sell it for 10 coins, she thought. "With 10 coins I will buy 10 eggs. When the eggs hatch, I will have 10 chickens to raise. When they grow up, I will sell them for 50 coins a dozen. Then I will be rich." She was so pleased with her own dreaming that she giggled and tossed her head back in delight, forgetting that she was still walking and balancing a heavy pail of milk. In the next moment, her foot struck a small stone, and she stumbled. The pail tipped, and all the milk spilled out onto the ground. The milkmaid stared at the empty pail in dismay. All her plans and dreams were lost along with the milk. She walked home in sorrow and regret, for now she had no money to buy eggs or raise chickens. Morale: do not count your chickens before they hatch, and do not let dreams distract you from the task at hand. Focus on what you are doing in the present, and success will follow. The Fox and the Cat. One day, a fox and a cat were traveling through a large forest. They came upon a dangerous path where the roar of a lion could be heard nearby. The fox, feeling frightened, turned to the cat and asked, "What means of escape do you have when a lion appears?" The cat replied simply, "I know only one way. I will climb the nearest tree. Once I am perched on a branch, the lion cannot follow me up." The fox sneered and said, "I know many tricks to evade a lion. I can slip away under mud, hide behind rocks, and there are countless other strategies I can imagine. I do not need to climb a tree like you." At that moment, the roar of the lion drew closer. The fox attempted to use the tricks it had mentioned, but in its panic, it forgot all of them. It did not know what to do. Meanwhile, the cat remained calm, jumped up the nearest tree, and climbed safely onto a branch. The lion pounced toward the cat, but could not climb the tree, so it eventually wandered away. When the lion left, the cat climbed down and walked away safely. The fox, however, stood frozen in the clearing and was ultimately caught and devoured by the lion because it lacked a clear, practical plan. Moral: simplicity and preparedness can be more valuable than complex plans that cannot be executed. The Lion and the Gnat. One day, a mighty lion ruled the forest. His roar struck fear into the hearts of all creatures under the canopy. Yet there was a tiny gnat that dared to buzz around him, landing and biting the great beast. Though small in size, the gnat's sting irritated the lion. Each time the gnat bit him, the lion angrily swatted at it, but the gnat evaded capture with swift agility and continued its harassment. The lion roared in frustration, "You little insect! How dare you bite me? I should have crushed you long ago." The gnat replied mockingly, "Though I am small, I have the spirit to stand up to you. Even a single bite from me makes your majestic roar lose its grandeur. Do not underestimate me because of my size." Enraged by the gnat's insolence, the lion sprang forward to crush it with his massive paw. But the agile gnat dodged and flew away. Several times the gnat hovered and stung different spots on the lion's body, inflicting a dozen bites that left him wincing in pain. Finally, the lion could stand no more. He swatted violently and knocked the gnat to the ground, killing it instantly. Though the gnat perished, its relentless stings had left the lion with numerous painful welts. Morale: even the smallest adversary, with courage and cunning, can trouble the most powerful.